and welcome to the Future of Sales and our Christmas special. I'm your host, Dr. Tula Bell, and with me today we have Chris Stevens. Hello, Chris.
Hi, Julie. Great to be here again. Happy
Great
Christmas and all of that.
Yeah, happy Christmas time. It's not quite Christmas yet. We do have a bit of festivity in the color scheme and clothing today. And I thought it'd be a great time. We're mid-December, and Christmas isn't that far away. And within any kind of environment, but especially in the sales environment, we can have like the stress levels can be quite high. And I don't know about you, Chris, but for me, Christmas um, is all about kind of that calm, proper family time, just chill, really think about life's deeper questions, you know, almost kind of cocooning a little bit. And um, I think doing a little bit more thinking, spending time outdoors, all the great things. I love Christmas time. I mean, I could listen to Christmas music all year long. Makes me happy. How about you, Chris? What does Christmas mean to you?
I mean, obviously, besides the aspect of the birth of Christ and all of that, which is obviously majorly important, especially for me, I think what's very important for me about Christmas time is that we get to take a little bit of a break, and we get
Mm.
to spend that time with our families. And for me, I'm not overly excited about getting presents. Obviously, for the kids, it's totally different. I was at that stage when I was younger, obviously, but I think for me, it's the presence of people being around you. So having your family close by, and I've got some family coming from overseas, so it'll be good to see them and catch up and, spread the love and the care and the joy,
Yeah.
amongst the family. So yeah,
It's
that's kind of what it means for me.
Yeah, it's really the time of love, isn't it? It's kind of, that kind of spending time with your loved ones, isn't it? And just feeling the great positive ambience. Now, when we go into a software sales environment, it can be quite a clash as well, because end of year for many, end of the calendar year is end of financial year, and that comes with a quota, carrying quota and all of that, and closing sales, and then we're humans as well. We have a personal life, so juggling the trying to think of Christmas presents, trying to like think about, how do I actually want to spend my Christmas time? How do I want to spend the holidays? And not getting to a point where when the holidays start, you then get ill because your body's just kind of giving up and kind of, able to breathe basically. So what are some of those things with a week and a bit to go, really realistically, or maybe even just a couple of days? I'm wondering, what are some of those things that how we could help our customers, or generally the software sales industry, if you're in sales or managing a sales team, what can you do? um, what are some of those little things that you can do that don't necessarily take that much time and also not that much headspace? Um, One of the things that I like to do is what I've been doing pretty much every day is I speak to Claude, one of the AI assistants, and I just clear my entire brain. I'm like, these are all of my thoughts. Can you just put those into some kind of structured thing? Um, and that includes everything from Christmas presents to family to friends to all the all my clients and etc. And it's just so much, isn't there? And so one of those things that really helped me is structure my thoughts when it's just all in my head, and I speak to the AI assistant and it just creates this nice file. And even if I haven't actually done anything, it makes me a lot more calm. Have you found anything similar? What helps you, Chris?
Yeah, I think if we're going to be real, I think the future of sales conversations really gets my brain, working, and we discuss things that are of relevance, and it's very interesting. So that obviously helps. But in terms of what we can do for our customers, specifically in software sales, if we've sold to customers, generally they would be on some sort of type of a support package, per se. Um, I think what would be helpful from us as a business to them would be to kind of send out something that's Christmassy and say wishing them, happy Christmas and Merry Christmas, happy holidays, however anybody wants to put it. Um, And then, just reiterate to them that during the festive season, we are available. You're not just going to be dropped. The phone's not just going to ring and ring until you get a voicemail and then nobody will phone you back. So kind of giving them that peace of mind that at least one part of their operation is
Yeah,
covered.
yeah. I think that's a really good point, is where especially if you think about your customers, you're in software sales, and your customers might be in kind of delivery company, for example, which obviously do not stop during the Christmas period, and they do need that IT support. They need the support of your software. And again, if something goes wrong or it's unexpected, they want peace of mind, thinking that yes, it's all fine. And where you might have for your staff or Christmas kind of working, you want to make sure that all escalations, all kind of P1s, P2 incidents, all of those are kind of are managed. So on that peace of mind, I thought we could do a little Christmassy meditation, maybe. You ready, Chris? So when you are ready, you can close your eyes if you want to. Oh, just take a breath in through the nose and then breathe out through the mouth. And make sure that you sit really comfortably. Your feet touch the floor. You might be standing up. Make sure your feet are firmly on the ground, and your arms are very comfortable on the side or on your knees. And we'll breathe in again, that positive Christmassy feeling through the nose, and all the stresses out through the mouth. And you can bring your arms up as well as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, take your arms to the side. And we're going to go into Winter Wonderland. I hope you're cozy, because we're going to open the door and we're going to see how the snow is falling down. It's all white and bright outside. It's so cold and so fresh. It's almost a little bit of blue, a little bit of white, and all of that lovely snow sparkles beautifully in the sun. We have a clear blue sky. When you look up, you can see the sun. You have to squint your eyes a little bit because it's so bright. It's Christmas time. We're in the northern hemisphere. It's not very high up, but we can see it's nicely radiating and giving you warmth on your face, and that makes you smile inside and outside. You take a step and you can hear the crackling noise of the snow under your foot. You take another step and you hear the same noise. You look around and you actually see a little rabbit hopping, and the rabbit, because it's in the snow, it's actually white, and it's running around and looking for a little bit of food. And we walk a bit further on and we realize we're actually our little hut was taken onto a lake, and we're on a lake. There's a huge amount of ice underneath us, so we're all safe. But because we're on a lake, we can see really far away in the distance, into the distance. And when we listen, we're standing, we're very still. We can't actually hear anything. It's a very still and beautiful day. We're going to take another really deep breath in outside, breathe in that beautiful fresh air, and then breathe out. And we can really see, when we breathe out, we can see the air that we breathe out, and all the stresses that we might have in the body, physical or mental stresses, they all just disappear into that vastness of the winter day. We then turn back and we can see the little hut we came from, and as we walk we can hear the same noise underneath our feet that comes from the snow when it's compressed. We walk in and open the door, and sit down back onto the bench, and we're ready to open our eyes whenever you are, and come back to the room.
Awesome.
Yeah, a little bit of Finland, maybe, or some other Nordic cold country this time of year. Yeah, the great thing about, for me, I was born and raised in Finland. Christmas is always, I'm trying to think, did we ever have a not white Christmas? I don't think so. A few times it was slightly, there was a slight risk of not having a white winter and white Christmas, but it was always, in my youth at least, it was always, and childhood, it was always white and lots of snow
That's
and
awesome.
very cold and also very dark. So it's just around midday, you'd have a little bit of the sun and it's really bright, especially from the kind of from the snow, reflecting from the snow. And then come 2 p.m. it's like getting pretty dark already. And then it's 20 hours of pretty much darkness, and then again the following day. But it allows your body as well to kind of really kind of restore and rest with the darkness. And then obviously you've got the lights and the candles, and the candles just look magical when it's dark outside. And
It's
then we
awesome.
used to make these with snowballs, like little um, like candle holder things. And then we'd do the same with ice. So you put like water into a bucket and then make it into like a ice lantern.
Oh,
Um,
awesome.
yeah, yeah, lots of things you can do when it's cold outside. Yeah,
Oh, that's brilliant.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
sad truth is I haven't had a white Christmas. Not
Oh,
yet,
have you not?
anyways.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe next Christmas then.
let's hope so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, indeed. So what are some of those other things that, if you've only got a couple of days, what one of those things which we quite well we may or may not forget is setting that, as you said about the communication, setting our email signature, depending on your company, the kind of company you work for, but you could actually make it a little bit fun. So you could put a little bit, an elf or something, or a picture of you in a Christmas outfit or something else, I don't know. So it really depends on how your company feels about it. Once I had a video message, and it became so popular that people actually emailed me just to get that video message in the email
Awesome.
reply back. That was fun. Um, and again, it doesn't need to be like a boring message saying I'm out of office until 6th, 7th of January or something, if you're lucky to have that long. Um, but it could be something a bit more fun, couldn't it? And also what you could do, again, if it's allowed by the business that you work for, is setting them out of office a day early. So if you can help kind of manage people's expectations and almost become, go offline or appear to be offline a few days before your holiday, then it gives you that space and breathing space of a few days where you're actually doing all the things you need to get done. When people don't, especially your customers, when they don't um, expect a response back. And then obviously we all have mobile phones. A lot of us will have email or now more mobiles. How do you manage that, Chris? Um,
So
or
a few things there. I
or,
love
or how
the
would you recommend other people manage their emails during the holidays on their phone?
okay. So with your first thing, I love the kind of Christmas spirit, and I think that's especially if your business is people orientated, and you've got a big part of that or part of the purpose and kind of the ethics and the values of the business is around the people. Then allow people to do festive things. Let them decorate the office. Let them wear Christmas jumpers. Let them wear Christmas hats. That type of stuff, and then also make it fun. Maybe do a video for social media that's got the staff in it singing songs. If people want to get involved, sometimes people don't want to act the fool, and that's totally fine. For the people that do, that's let them do it. So um, what I did last Christmas when I was working for another business, we had our Christmas party and I got a Christmas suit
Oh,
and
nice.
I went to Santa Claus and I sprayed
Yeah.
my beard white and everything like that. And then the photographs that came from that, I used on social media posts wishing
Mm,
people a Merry
love that.
Christmas. So it was a quite a fun, and it was and I think to this day, my youngest still thinks that I'm Santa Claus. So it was very funny.
Love that.
Um, but yeah, so and we went bowling, which was quite interesting, and there was a whole bunch of kids there. So obviously they went mad for Santa Claus. So it was quite an interesting. It was very fun, and
Yeah,
being a dad myself, engaged with the kids, and so I hope you've been good this year, and
yeah,
and that's what it's about.
yeah.
But I think to come to your original question, kind of the long way around. Um, what I do is family time is very important to me. So there needs to be a cutoff of work. So what I do is I set my phone to do not disturb at I think it kicks in at about 6 o'clock. Then it switches things off. So I'm not going to get notifications for emails and stuff, because what I found is you'd be looking at your phone and something
Mhm.
would come through,
Yeah.
and then subconsciously it would irritate you until you are kind of
And
satisfied that you've dealt with it.
yeah, and I tried this because I love what I do. I truly love it, which is for why I find it really hard to switch off. And one weekend, um, I decided for 2 days, as in Saturday and Sunday, that should really be your time off anyway, normally. However, I made a conscious effort of not thinking about work. And every time I realized how many times, even though I'm not working, so quite often I wouldn't work at the weekend, but I realized how many times I actually think about work. So making a conscious effort of, okay, I get to a thought about work or something else, but then I just bounce it back gently with a snowflake or something else. And doing that made me realize that weekend I felt so good afterwards, so restored, because your brain does, especially when we work in something like software sales or somewhere where it's very kind of office based or home based, can even be worse because there's nothing physically stopping us from kind of being in that same space. So we have to do a lot of mental effort. And so some of those kind of strategies, for example, kind of making your office or where you work really tidy, or as you said, like adding Christmas decorations, if you're in that space anyway. So if you're, which I'm a huge fan of, so reusing spaces, so not necessarily dedicating a room for an office, but if you're working, a lot of us work on the dining room table, because especially if we're in a relationship, two of us might be working from home, and quite often people don't have two offices, um, and so making sure that the space doesn't remind us or make us think about work, and if it if those thoughts come into our heads, we're like, well, thank you for the thoughts, brain. I just
Yeah.
push it away. Let's replace it. So what I did is I then tried to replace that thought with a thought about my children who I was actually with. But even if you're engaged with an activity, those thoughts still might come to your head. So that was an interesting weekend, kind of reminded me that yes, we have to do quite a lot of thought work.
Yeah, I agree with you. And sometimes we need to really program ourselves that Monday's another day, especially when it comes to weekend. We need to go, that can be Monday's problem. And it
Yeah,
has to be. Because
yeah,
otherwise you go into Monday not rested from the weekend. It's like
yes,
if
very
you've
true.
ever had, family and friends over that have been staying with you for a weekend. By the end of the weekend, you're worn out, and you like
Yeah,
go into Monday and you feel like you
yeah,
haven't rested at all
yeah,
because it's been go, go, go. But
yeah.
yeah, I totally agree with you on that one.
So with any closing thoughts, any other tips, ideas that you can think of that we could do with a couple of days, either for ourselves, for our customers, something that we haven't spoken about is our employees, our managers. So we quite often we either have a manager or we have a team, or in some cases, if we're part of a larger organization, we probably have both. So we have our own team and then we have the people that we report to. So what are some of those things, maybe fun things or practical things that we can do in either position? What do you
I
think?
think, yeah, I think, coming from a manager or boss perspective, it would be the thing that you've got to join in on the fun, because if the lead is not involved, there's, it's not nearly as, if the lead is not part of the festivities, it's not nearly as fun. So get involved. Um, you know, in some regards, be a fool for your staff so that they can also have a laugh,
I,
so that
I
you
was
can prove that
that's
you're
what
also human, you
Yeah,
know.
I think some of the um best kind of times I've had when managers and leaders realize that they can actually make a little bit of a fool of themselves, as in in a good way. As in, they'll go up and sing, or they'll go up and, try and do a talent show, or, whatever that might be, or dress up in a funny costume or something. I think that's what shows humility and also respect for your team. So yeah, definitely in favor of that.
I think it comes back down to that's as an opportunity for unplanned team building. It's such a nice way just to meet, properly get to know your staff without the daily pressures, if you could put it
Mm.
like that, because as we start slowing down for Christmas. But yeah, I think that's probably about it.
Yeah. And then I think because most of us will have managers as well, so saying thank you, because sometimes we kind of forget, especially in a stressful situation where we might forget actually, our managers have got quite a lot on their plate, and they have to manage lots of different things. They'll probably have a manager as well. So kind of just saying thank you, and it doesn't need to be anything big, but just saying, thanks for the year, and great to be working with you, or anything else, and say, see you back in January, and kind of ending the year in good terms. I think is always good.
Yeah. And setting the platform for a good start in January.
Yeah, definitely. Well, with that, Chris, thank you ever so much for your time today, and it's been a pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed this very Christmassy session of Future Sales, and I would love to wish you a very, very happy and Merry Christmas this year.
Thank you so much. Always good to be here, Tuli. And yes, all the festivities and love from our side to your side. Wishing you guys a Merry Christmas also.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone who's listening. Merry Christmas.